Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Geek. Welcome back, y'all! Well, since we completed the Megatron build last week, it's time to move on to something else. So I thought we would kick this off with a return to Star Wars Middle Earth. We have the Premium Series R2-D2 and C-3PO right here. Since there's two figures, this is likely going to be a multi-part video, but why don't we take a closer look at the box and see what comes inside. All right, y'all, so here is the box for this. Obviously Star Wars branded. This is after Disney took over. Sadly, we have our two characters here, and taking a closer look at the box art, I like how the base appears to be very reflective silver. What I don't like is that R2 also appears to be fairly reflective, a little bit white, but more on the silver side for my liking. And you know, some of the damage and rust, I don't know, it doesn't quite pop the way I would hope it would for a figure at this price range. But overall though, I mean, it does look like a nice figure. On the C-3PO side, nice shiny gold. This is after he got his red arm, so quite nice there. I bet this is like one painted piece, but we'll see as we get into the build. I'm not particularly fond of the way the arms are. I think they're a little too far out. And I'm not sure what these little pieces hanging off of him are, but well, we'll see as we get into it. On the back side, nice little description of R2-D2 and C-3PO, a little picture of the plates that we're going to be getting here, basic instructions. Really nothing surprising here. So let's go ahead and open the box and see what we got. So inside the box we have these 5.5 metal sheets, pretty small metal sheets compared to like the Moo models that we've been doing, but relatively standard size for Middle Earth. It looks like we have 2.5, give or take, for R2, 2.5 for C-3PO, and then we have the base and the fixins for that. So about even there on the number of parts for each figure. We also get this slew of instruction pages. Looks like we've got 3 big pages here. Not sure how they want to put it together. It looks like we're going to be starting off with R2 based on what we see here. We got a description of the sheets and what parts are where, and we'll go from there. With any luck, this thing will go through one figure at a time, so we'll complete R2 and then move on to 3PO. And depending on how much time, we may have to split 3PO off into a different video, but we'll find out. But now that we have our instructions, we have our metal sheets, how about we go ahead and cut some parts out and get right into the build.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate, go your own way, I won't wait.
Bring the funk back.
Hey, hey, hey. All right, well, as you can see, this ended up being a single video. In fact, this was one of the easiest models I've ever built. The entire piece took only 4.5 hours of build time. So very, very simple and simplistic as well. If you're new to metal models, I actually recommend this. This is a great beginner's piece. Looks great, though the detail is painted on. Some of the engineering is, well, I guess the best way to describe it is just simple. I mean, I keep using that word, but it really is the best way to describe it. R2 in particular is identical to his standard series version, except he's got paint. Now, with simple comes flaws. There's a significant lack of detail in terms of actual metal pieces. All of the detail is with some laser etching and some paint. And, you know, these little pieces up here, I now know what they're supposed to be. They're just actually not placed very well in the box art, but they're just supposed to be those little pistons there that connect the bicep to the forearm and so on. So, but they're just really, really thin. I think they probably could have done without them. They don't actually attach except at one point. And when you're building, you got to be very careful not to snap them off. C-3PO's head was actually one of the more difficult pieces to the entire model. You know, getting everything bent just right so that it actually comes out and looks reasonably good. R2 there's a hole right there on the top of each leg. An extra little tiny bit of metal to cover that hole and just fold over would have been great, but again, they copied the engineering from the standard size version, and all the same flaws appear here. That said, you do have some little inset detail, like the little vents here and the little fan down there. There's not a whole lot more to say on this. The paint is really good. R2 is way too silver. Most of this is silver and it should be white, but it does catch the light nicely. The silver takes fingerprints fairly easy, but the rest of it actually doesn't. You don't really notice fingerprints on the rest of it as you're building, assuming you're building without gloves. But all in all, I mean, it's really nice. It is short, as you'll see in the size comparisons. This is shorter than your typical premium model. But all of that said, let's go ahead and get into those size comparisons. So here he is next to the standard edition of R2. And as you can see, this R2 is just slightly bigger than this one. But beyond that, and the paint, they're pretty much identical. All of the engineering is exactly the same. Since this base is larger, it allows for the rear legs to go back a little bit more than this one does. But other than that, I mean, these are the same piece, just different scale. And here they are next to the rest of the Star Wars Premium Series cast that we've done so far. And the scale issue really comes into play here. So you can see they are significantly smaller than they should be in terms of scale with the rest of the cast. And here they are with the standard series Iron Man. And you can see that they are actually to scale with the standard series figures. And the recent Moo model Megatron that we did, which simply dwarfs them completely. So I think that'll about wrap it up for today. I really hope you liked the video. If you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time. Have a great day.